My name is Paul Zach. I'm from Rosselt, South Dakota, and I'm going into Theology 1 at St. Paul Seminary. And for me, the call to the priesthood was kind of with me my whole life. It was kind of always there and kind of always in the back of my mind as long as I can remember. Kind of every time I would look forward to look ahead at what I thought I wanted to do in life, it would kind of pop in my head. But it was definitely something I didn't want to do at all, and so I really fought that. I didn't want to do it, but I grew up Catholic, and I knew my faith was important, and I wanted to take it seriously someday. I thought maybe when I get older, and have my life set up how I wanted, I could maybe start taking it a little more seriously. But kind of towards the end of high school and definitely going into college, I really took in what the world said would make me happy, and I really strove after that. And I still tried to get to Mass as much as I could, but that would even slip, and I was really kind of living a worldly life through college and through my couple years of college. And it kind of got to a point where I knew I was living a life that wasn't right, and that was wrong. And so it kind of got to a point where I just knew I had to go to confession, and so I finally went, and it was probably the first time in probably 3 years since high school. This is a couple years into college, and I remember going in there and just pouring out all my sins to the priest, and I was very moved and sorrow for them. And I just remember when the priest said the words of absolution, especially the words, I give you pardon and peace. Through the ministry of the church, I give you pardon and peace. I remember just such a actual peace coming over me, and a joy. I went from this deep sorrow to just this inexpressible joy that I'd never felt before in my entire life. And everything I was striving for to get that through the world and everything just never satisfied. I felt this immense joy come over me in the confessional, and it was just kind of a turn of the switch. And for the first time in my life, the thought of the priesthood came to my mind while I was sitting in that confessional, and for the first time I wasn't opposed to it. I actually had a desire for it, which was kind of surprising to me. And I remember walking out of the confessional and thinking, like, okay, I could do this, but I still wasn't ready to jump into it. I had some other things on my mind. And but after a few years, I ended up getting a job, and I was growing in my faith and wanting to really take it more seriously. And I just thought that I couldn't try to live out my faith and not pursue this. And it just got to the point where I thought, okay, I have to do this. And so I had a house and a job, and I kind of had my life set up how I wanted it, and yet I still kind of felt this agitation inside in my heart. And so I finally just got to the point where I thought, I have to at least look into this, into seminary and the priesthood. And so I contacted my parish priest, and he got me in contact with the vocations director, and I dove in and joined seminary, and I sold my house, I quit my job, and I've felt such an immense peace and joy looking forward that I never felt through college and everything when I was kind of doing things on my own.